Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Derek. This is Men of the Den, and this is Monday.
This week on the Den is QA week, where we answer viewer questions. So let's get right to it.
Right, excellent. We received a bunch of questions through various social media outlets. We're just going to answer these one by one here. Starting with Matthew Hughes from the Valley in Nova Scotia. Asked, what would our dream vacation be?
Okay, so my dream vacations, if money were not an object, I actually have 3 of them that are on my bucket list. So number 1 would be Australia. I've always wanted to do Australia my whole life, just to check out the sights. And especially now that we're friends with Spencer, it'd be nice just to go to Australia and get drunk monkey with them and travel around. Number 2 for me is the UK. I'd love to go to the UK. Again, just sightseeing, checking out the sights. Really like to go check out the pubs. Aaron, you might be able to lead the way there. And number 3 for me is Japan. There's so much culture there. I would love to be able to check out the cultural stuff in Japan. I'd love to go there.
Excellent. Myself as well. Japan is definitely on my list. I would definitely love to check out some of the art and some of the cosplay at the Shibuya district in downtown Tokyo, as well as the Harajuku scene, as well as just the countryside of Japan would be a dream. A bit more adventurous when it does come to traveling. There's some place I want to go on my bucket list. Machu Picchu is number 1. I need to experience that for myself. One thing I would love to experience in my lifetime is I would love to just hang out in the African Serengeti, and I would love to watch the sunset. Now, I know it's extremely dangerous to travel there, and it's something that I can leave as a dream, but it's something that is definitely on my bucket list that I would definitely love to see.
All right, this next question goes to Derek. Derek, Dave Pryor from Nova Scotia asks, what album first got you into hip-hop? And if you could work with one hip-hop artist, who would it be?
Okay, so I love hip-hop, and if you're ever going to get me talking about music, I'm going to ramble, so I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. Okay, so there's 3 albums that are pivotal for me when it comes to hip-hop. Kanye West, The College Dropout. Beastie Boys, Check Your Head. And ultimately, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Doggy Style. Now, when it comes to any other artist I would particularly work with, I'm going to have to say Leaf. And David, you know this, we've worked with hip-hop before. We were working together on hip-hop before. When we mentioned Leaf, we talk about Leaf all the time. Basically, it's a pioneer of hip-hop. The guy's got swagger. And he looks like a cross between Lafayette from True Blood and Miss J from America's Next Top Model. It's absolutely fantastic, and his lyrics are on point. I would love to work with that guy.
Next set of questions comes from Clinton in Delaware. He asked us 5 really great questions, so we're going to go through them. So here's the first question. Where did you and Derek first meet, and was it love at first sight?
The first time I saw Greg was at a karaoke bar, singing the vinyls I Touched Myself and acting it out in full force. It was a sight to be seen. The second time I met him, I was like, I saw he was another karaoke night, different bar, and I was like, he's cute. I'm going to say hi. So I went up to the side of him, blatantly touched on him. I was even less like this a little bit with him, and he's like, kind of, hi.
I'm totally oblivious. I miss Keys and Clues like crazy. I had no idea he was even interested.
I was blatantly hitting on you. He thought I was straight. Girl. Anyways, then we finally met in person and actually had a conversation. It was one night at Men's Bar. Now, an ex-boyfriend of mine was trying to win me over, took me out for a few drinks, paid my way in, just trying to get me to Men's Bar. I did not want to go. But he was paying my way. I'm not going to complain. Himself, he had a friend in town. He had a hotel down in Halifax. They decided to go out. They were just going out about the town, and they were ended up at the same bar. And my boyfriend's trying to win me over, and he sees that this is going on. And then my boyfriend and then I'm kind of like trying to back off. He starts talking to him, and I was like, "No, I'm winning tonight." 4.5 years later.
Mm-hmm. And as for the love at first sight question, obviously it wasn't love at first sight because I was completely oblivious the first 2 times I met Derek that he was even gay. It wasn't until I actually met him in a gay bar that I actually like, oh, he's a fag. So love at first sight wasn't really an option here for that reason.
Right. Question number 2 from Clinton is, are you in a monogamous relationship? And what is your opinion of open relationships?
All right, that is a very good question. So, to answer Clinton's question, yes, we are indeed in an open relationship. So, he asked how we feel about open relationships. This is something we've discussed a lot. We know a lot of people in open relationships that work perfectly fine. We know people that it hasn't worked. I think there's a couple of keys to having a good open relationship, and that's number one is that both partners got to be 100% on board. If one side is not and just doing it because the other person wants it, then there's going to be resentment in the relationship both ways, and that's never going to work.
That's just going to be a big problem right there.
Right. Number two is I believe that communication is the key. So even communicating right from the get go what the boundaries are and sticking to those boundaries are going to be key to making the open relationship work. And even figuring out the different issues that will arise, because inevitably feelings do get involved when it comes to open relationships. It's all about how you deal with them. So I do think open relationships can work, but it is on the individual couple basis. All right, so here's Clinton's last question. So he asked if you could change one thing about your physical appearance, what would it be?
All right, so immediately I know this one. Now, if you ever, now you can't really probably see this from a distance, but I do have scarred cheeks. Now, this comes from an acne problem I had when I was middle school, and I was on a medication called Accutane. Now, it got rid of the acne, but unfortunately, it scarred my face and caused a lot of self confidence issues growing up, which is one thing when you're in middle school you do not want to deal with. Not to mention knowing you're different, being bullied, and having a physical feature that everyone's making fun of. It makes for the worst years of your life.
Okay.
Greg, what about you?
And mine is definitely 100% without even thinking my teeth. I would love to get all my teeth replaced with beautiful veneers and have the nicest, straightest, whitest teeth because I've never had the best teeth ever in my life. I would love to have that. So our next question comes from Mr. Spencer James Spence. He asked in his video to all the other Den boys what their favorite Christmas present was.
All right. So myself, I don't ask for a lot for Christmas. Pretty much ourselves, if we want to get something, we get it. This guy is so hard to shop for because that's what he does. Anyways, anything. I love gift cards mostly, so I love just being able to not have to worry about groceries or go for a night out. But my favorite gifts I got this year was gifts from my parents. I am my passion about cooking, and I got my parents got me a pasta maker and a mandolin slicer, and actually I was no sarcasm excited about it. Thank you so much, Mom. It's such a great gift.
All right. So as for me, I'm not a big physical possessions person. So my best Christmas present I had this year wasn't a physical Christmas present. Me and my brother were used to be very close when we were younger. Unfortunately, as we've gotten older, we've kind of uh, gained some distance between us. There was nothing that happened that caused it. It's just unfortunately life has gotten in the way, and just as some distance has formed over the last 5 or 6 years. So this Christmas, when I went home and visited my family, I made it my goal to get out with my brother for a night. So me and him just went out by ourselves. We went to a karaoke bar, sang karaoke, got drunk monkey, as Spencer puts it, and it was just overall a good night. And that was probably my favorite part of the whole holiday season was getting to spend some alone time with my brother for the first time in years.
All right, and next is from Jamie Smith from Las Vegas, Nevada. Asks, "What is your karaoke jam?" And sing a few lines.
All right. So for me, anything by Meatloaf is probably my jam that you'll hear me do the most at karaoke.
Why don't you sing a few lines?
Now don't be sad, 'cause 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
All right.
All right, what about you, Derek?
As I stated in the last video, I do a lot of hip hop, and one of my favorites ones to do. It always gets the crowd going. I know you like to think your shit don't stink, but lean a little bit closer, see roses really smell like boo hoo hoo. Yeah, roses really smell like boo hoo hoo.
All right, that's it for our video for this week, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We really enjoyed answering your guys' questions, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing the other Den Boys' answers to your guys' questions for the rest of the week. I've kind of gotten a preview, and I can't wait to hear their answers to some of those questions.
All right, and please feel free to leave a comment below in the comments section and like, subscribe, share, please. We love sharing our stories with you, and we definitely want to continue doing this. And we want to hear your stories as well. Tell us some of your stories, and feel free to add us to Facebook and Instagram as well. Anyways, this was Monday, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Have a great day, guys.